Because they don't have the keys. They don't have the keys. They don't have the keys. They might be speaking to the presidents, but they don't have the keys. They might have the army, but they don't have the keys. They might have multitudes, but they don't have the keys. Leave religion aside, because the moment you succumb to religion, it's automatic that you're political. These same men are a danger to us. They don't want to hear that there is a progression. Imagine we are in Mbazira, over 100 and something kilometers away from Waiwam, but before we reach at Waiwam, they are already there. The moment the heavens open over Uganda, they will take a step and they faint on the way. They will come back and repent. You see? But because we are operating under a closed heaven, even the prophets in the group cannot call us in the night to tell us some people are on a move. Rise, let us fight. If you are operating as a nation under a closed heaven, you can only eat bukunkumuka. I don't know whether you know what I mean. You are candidates of leftovers. But yet we know by scriptures that every nation has a slot on the bread of heaven. Has a portion and a slot. Why? Because we are operating under a heaven that was locked in the year 2000. And I will explain to you how it was locked. Because I have journeyed there, I have seen it. I have been there, I have seen it. Those men don't know, but they came into a beast. It's like a system, but it's a beast. It's a beast. It's hungry for the veins of the church. It wants to tear us apart. Every time a young man arises, all they do is to pierce him. God cannot fight God. We are either for God and as they fight us, lock waiwam, abali bebisi agabo beyongera. Baba bivira dala mu church. You see? You see? Men are dropping out every day into prostitution. Drug abuse is like drug abuse. Weed is like weed. Men are leaving the altar and taking alcohol. Instrumentalists are becoming gig men. And the men that would have cast the message unto them are killed every time they rise. Tell me whether that's a group or a beast. Spiritual blood is not feasted on like physical blood. Men are like vampires in the spirit. They are hungry for spiritual success. They run to the doors quickly when they see a portal and they lock. And when you come, they have paid millions of money. You can't access that place anymore. But listen, if we are to carry our cross towards what we should do, listen, we must carry the cross. If it means selling our shoes, we shall sell them. If it means selling our books, if it means selling our phones, we shall sell them. But the work of God must come as a rain in the land. And the rain can only rain if the heavens are open. Only rain when the heavens are open. The rain can only come when the heavens are open. The truth is, when a generation finds a closed heaven, it must pay the price. Listen, sons, we have a lot of enemies for us to be enemies of each other. Why you get me? I feel like I can't keep this. Let me speak it even on TV. The Lord told me, politicians hate you. Religious men hate you. But even your sons hate you. That is why I'm called today. If you didn't, you would have been hearing the voice of the Lord everywhere you are. Excuses upon excuses. Complaints upon complaints. Fighting each other. I can manage the leaders of leaders because the war is not in the money zone, though they think it's money. The war is not in the political zone, though they think it's political. The battle is in the Zionic fields, and in there we are giants. But imagine when a giant turns to a fellow giant, how are we going to build the army? How comes you're in the ministry and you're asking yourselves question about the ministry? What are you doing in the ministry? Go! We have men that have become judges. They are judges. They are judges. They know who must be killed in the camp. They know who must be destroyed in the camp. And the reason why many are not making it, it's because many of you have turned against each other. Religion rises when men become political. I wish God would allow me to leave the apostolic office and become an usher when I am serving a man of God under this ministry. You will know what it means to be an usher. You will never come and those pavers are not swept. I'm not telling you the things I have not done. I'm not telling you that. I was a worship team member but smoking latrines. What are you talking about? I left the pulpit. I went to see the latrine. I had a car by then. Drove nganonye sanja. Nevune sanja nengena nenyokeza toyi. Nandigambe mirimu gyaba asha. Waba beriko gwe basasu. The only destruction of the army of God comes from within. The reason why I tell you some sons are deadly to me, it's because the more you complain, is the more the enemy is going to find a portal in you, and you will become the leader of leader among the camps. You will carry the secrets of the camp and shoot it to the men who are hungry for our blood, and you will sell us. I am telling you, if you cannot contend with the immediate person, it will be easy for us to be destroyed. And it is possible for us to be destroyed without leaving a landmark. Very possible. Very possible. Mind your actions. Mind your service. Mind your steps. You are more dangerous to us than the men holding accounts of billions that they have embezzled from church. You're more dangerous. You're more dangerous than UPDF combined. Yongerako anti-corruption. Yongerako whatever force you want to put there. You, one person, you're more dangerous. Because what defiles a man comes from within, not from without. The Lord can take us through guns and fires. But if we are the enemies of each other, then we have not understood the way of koinonia. He says, me and my Father are one. It's a principle. It is a pillar that holds the godship together. Let us not deceive ourselves. We are here for a time, we shall go. But if we are talking about leaving a mark, some of you don't, let me tell you, there is a family a few years ago in Syria. This is not a story. This is a real life event. A few years ago, God comes to an intercessor, a young lady in Syria, and tells the young lady, I I need you to lay your life on the altar. Can you do that for me? The young lady tells God, yes, I can. Says, okay, that's good. The young lady goes and lays her life on the altar in prayer. 2 days after that, the Lord comes back to her and tells her, can you lay the life of your husband on the altar? The lady went, talked to the husband that this is what has happened. Now I am talking about countries with the Sharia law. It's either God or the neck is off. I don't know whether I said the right statement. You either let God be or the neck is off. It's an Allah issue. You see? You see? So they ask her. The Lord asked her, can you bring your husband on the altar? What kind of prayer, what kind of unity, what kind of submission unto God would cause God to ask the woman for the man's life? Isn't every man responsible for his life? There are men who have tarried and they have made one bond in the spirit that God does not need to go to every TBA member. When he speaks to Minister Divine, we hear twice. It is possible for a ministry to be found on its knees just by one impact in a bedroom. One man kneels down and the Spirit of the Lord comes to that person and asks the person, can you give me TBA? It means that when that person says yes, when we say yes, it's one voice. So the Lord comes to the woman and tells him, give me your husband. He actually asks the same question. Can you lay your husband's life on my altar? The woman told him, yes, I can. When told the husband, I have you no more. You are on the altar. Now, as if that was not enough, after 2 days, now I am not telling you stories. They had 2 beautiful young daughters. After 2 days, the Lord comes back to the woman in Syria, tells her, can you give me your daughters? Can you give me your daughters? One is aged 3, another one is 5. She says, whatever you want. Now you don't know what it means to give a daughter who has no power of will. That's the power of the family altar. Now the lady calls the family after giving in all at the altar. And because the lady had spoke to the husband, she comes and calls the young 2 girls. The other one was already gone, the 3-year-old. Now the 5-year-old could hear and could understand. And the mother told the girl that one day wicked men are going to come. They will kick that door, you will hear a bang. The moment you hear a bang, they will get us, put us all on our knees. When that happens, my daughter, make sure that your sister's eyes are closed, and make sure that your eyes are closed. You will hear words like this. Do you deny Jesus to be free, or you do not? And then you'll hear a bang, boom. The moment you hear a bang, never open your eyes, hold them tighter. But when you hear the first bang, you will hear something fall. That's your father. But don't open your eyes, hold them tight. But what you should do for me, hold your young sister and hold her hand tight. See? And then you're going to hear a second bang. When you hear that, the third thing you're going to hear, a sharp knife on your neck. When they ask you what they have been asking us, open your eyes. Look in the eyes of that man with a knife. Look at the eyes of that man with a knife. And tell him if you can, that I forgive you for killing my parents. Jesus loves you. Two weeks after the children were mentored in the way of matters, the exact bang happened. And surely, as the mother narrated, is exactly what happened. They got them, tied their hands behind, put them on their knees, and the daughter closed her eyes. See? Daughter closed her eyes. They closed their eyes. Held the sister tightly. See? Held the sister. When she had the first bang, she had the words. They first dealt with the father. But remember, the Lord had asked the woman, can you give me your husband? And the woman gave him the husband. When they asked the man, he says, Jesus is Lord. And there was a bang, boom, and the body fell. And the young girl of 5 held the hands of the young sister of 3 and closed her eyes tighter. She had a second bang after the second question. Immediately after hearing the second bang, the knife was on her neck. When she opened her eyes, it is told that she forgot the words of her mother, and she just said the statement of the father. Instead of telling the man that Jesus loves you, he told the man, Jesus is Lord. And she was choked. When you go and trace the Christian lineage, you will trace, because right now they are martyrs. They are considered as martyrs. And some of you are still fighting. You're still wondering whether you should be in church in time. If you're a son and I come in this place faster than you, see? We must gather our strength for tighter things. Bwe tubagamba nti mu Uganda temuli Christianity, temutegera kye tugamba. Now, that is true Christianity. And it went in records. That is how they gave their lives for the name that we are playing in. You come in church. The moment you step in church, you feel asleep. All you yagala kwebakamu. A day will come. And when they put your life on a weighing scale with your faith, your life might be heavier than your faith. And that's not the way of the Lord. Because it is only life that can be exchanged with God. The moment you preserve your life, you lose Him. The moment you preserve your life, you lose Him. Bino bye tuzanya, bino bye tulwana, bino bye twenyiganyiga, we are still joking. Men have served God under fire shoots. Under fire shoots. Put that phone in silent. Men have called the name of the Lord to their last breath. Some of you are just tired of 1 extra hour, 20 extra minutes, and you say you love God. Go back and check. In the early church, they would take them, it was a game. To be Christian and you're found, you're taken for a game. But do you know what the game is? They hold you with your household, with all other Christians. Ne babateeka mu kisaawe, babeeranga n'ebisaawe. Ne balyoka bakuba obululu, ono yagenda osooka okufa, oli yagenda okusooka okufa. Meanwhile, by the time they put you in that field, they have starved lions for a week. Now, they are not eating for delicacy. They are eating to save their own lives. And then they chain them. And then they bring families into the field. Into the field. Some had babies of months. Some had babies of years. They collect you as Christians. A story is told that once Israel was called a river of blood because the land flowed with blood. When Hitler slew the Israelites. But the old emperors, they collected families. They get your young children innocent, but you make a decision for them. Put you in the field and give you a chance to denounce Christ. Sons, if you're a true revivalist, there is only one way. That way is Golgotha. It's a place of the cross. There must be death. The end is death, because death has a crown of glory therein. Some of you think that end might be building flats. The Lord has supplied all our needs. We shall drive cars. That is not faith. That is not faith. That is not an ancient path. The ancient path is you must be able to check yourself, put your life on a weighing scale, not against a weighing scale stone, but against your faith. Can you stand for your faith even when your life is at the last second? Can you? Is it possible to choose faith at the expense of your young born? Is it possible? Then you will start knowing what revival is. Listen, revival is never a gain. It is a loss. It is never a gain, it's a loss. Revival is never a gain. It is a loss. There is no gain therein. You might not be able to drive a private jet as a minister told you, as a certain preacher told you. You might not be able. But you will be able to leave an ancient footstep. They collected them in fields. Men watched their babies because it's easier to attack a baby. Pulling your young born child out of your hands, and it's the mouth of a lion, a hungry one, and snatches the head of your angel. And you're still saying Jesus is Lord. And you're still saying Jesus is Lord. The gospel is beyond cars. The gospel is beyond visas. The gospel is beyond building. It's beyond marriages. The gospel is carrying your cross. A cross is not a house for a house party. A cross is a place where your faith and your life are put on the same weighing scale. You are on the same weighing scale. You either choose the way of faith or choose your life. That is how men witness God, that we can feel the presence of God. That's how. How are you going to tell me about NAFBAC? How? Munyambe, how? You go back and tell it to those men who are ignorant about the history of the church. Go and tell them. When you come to me, you must tell me the way of the cross, the way of loss, the way of sacrifice. To be what you have to be, your life must be checked. There is no honor you will ever command if you don't honor the men that are around you. Because honor in the spirit is a zone. It commands each other. You can only be honored as far as you honor. Don't think you can honor your man of God by dishonoring your wife. If you can't honor your wife, your man of God is in the chambers of your destruction. Please, if you're telling anyone about any religious group, go and tell those ones. Some of us have journeyed to the old paths, and now we know what it takes to surely be a man of faith. It has nothing to do with the Lord shall supply all my needs. It has everything to do that I will supply all my wants. The need of God has never been houses and cars. Never. You can go and continue being in the flamboyant message. Go. But the demand is we must come back and watch after the ancient paths. This is what I expect. That the hunger I carry when I come to minister about Uganda is the hunger sons must carry to come and receive. Because now this is not just a message. It's a release. It's an unleashing in the spirit. It's a commission. It's a commission. See? It's a commission. A day will come and you cannot listen to Sister Marion anymore. And all of you, it's either life or your faith on a weighing scale. Because the true spiritual weighing scale does not have beans and rice. It has life and faith. The moment you say you're a man of faith, you're not a man of declaration of goodness. You're a man who is ready to give in his life. I saw it. Was it your status today speaking about Paul being stoned, being caned? You see, a man is trying to tell you, I am on a weighing scale. And yet, he was sufficient of God. You see? Full of the mysteries of godliness. You see? He was a man who would command angels and they react. But yet, he knew that for me to live is Christ. That is faith. For me to die is gain. That is faith. Ask yourself, where does the Syrian woman get the guts to declare his husband at the altar when she has his own life, her own life? Let me tell you, Jehovah is smart. Jehovah is smart. You cannot train a soldier simply. You can't. Because in the days where he needs that training, he will die. I was telling you here on Monday that the ways of the soldiers are different. They don't know sickness. They don't know coldness. They don't know day. They don't know night. When you sleep in the night, you can be shot dead. They don't know pain. They don't know pain. Where does a woman get the audacity to get her beautiful girls and plant the spirit of martyrdom in them? It all comes back to the spirit of togetherness. God is going to hold us as long as we are not united.